Hey, Rody, it's Rick Silva, referral coach. I'm here with Rebecka Paven, and I put a post on Facebook recently, and once in a while I'll put up a post and say, hey, if you want 1 free hour of coaching, first one to respond gets it. Here's Rebecka. I'm just going to ask you questions. I'll give you some coaching. I've been doing this for 19 years and 3 months. I've coached thousands of insurance agents, mortgage lenders. So we'll see. Maybe I could give you a couple ideas.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, cool. Auto and home. Do you do life insurance?
I do, but that's not my focus. I love personal lines.
And then Rebecka threw me a little bit of a curveball because Rebecka used to live near me doing insurance, and she let me know she'd made some changes. So Rebecka, tell me about yourself and what your current circumstance is.
Okay. Hey, Rick. So I have recently sold my farmer's insurance. So I sold my business because I wanted to grow and be a bigger, better agent. So now I've relocated. I still go back and forth to California because I have other things that I do. So I am going back and forth between Arizona and California. And I'm starting another business, Pavon Insurance. I sell different products, but the brand is Pavon Insurance Agency. So that is what I'm doing. And so back to square one, I start my training in January, hit the ground running like I did the first time.
I have to ask you some questions before I can even know which route to go to give you ideas of what I would do if I was starting from scratch, which is my specialty. I love talking to people. Like, it's very rare it's somebody sold an insurance agent starting another one. I worked with a dentist who sold their practice for a couple million, had to wait 6 months, and I hope to rebuild it even bigger than it was before.
Yeah, that's my plan. Yeah. I mean, essentially, I'm still going to be licensed, and now I'm getting bigger than I actually imagined because I have a lot of family in Nevada. Oh, cool. So I'm resident state of Arizona. I'll be a non-res in California as well as Nevada. I just want to take care of my clients, provide a good customer service, give them what they need, and I want them to be my friends.
That's cool.
To be honest. And so now that I've uprooted my whole life and I've moved with all the faith and hustle and my little heart can stand.
But tell me, I want to know what you did to build the practice you sold, the farmer's practice, like for biz dev. For the last 19 and a half years, I've been teaching referral generation, running referral groups, working with those 4 primary industries, though I've worked with plenty of others on how to network. I know how to bring in business. So I want to know what you did. So let's stick on the front of the business, the biz dev, whether it's marketing, Facebook, LinkedIn, PPC, buying ads, networking, going to events, trade shows. Give me a snapshot of what you did to build the practice you just sold.
It was a very difficult journey because I worked as an ABC with Farmers First, which is an agency business consultant. And I coached, trained, and developed agents in my district. And I did that. And I just saw how these agents just weren't doing enough. You know, like there really is it's not hard to go and meet people, and everyone needs insurance. So I saw that it was definitely something I had interest in doing. And I had a friend who was in insurance as well. And I was already an agency business consultant and I was actually pretty good at it. Fired an agent and I took over her book. That is really difficult to do because that book got heavily attacked by that agent.
Yeah.
And obviously she came back with, a vengeance and tried to get all her clients. And so I had to not only baby those clients, but build those relationships quickly, because she's coming in hot and wants her policies, those agents back to take to her new brokerage, which is totally understandable. So it just really took me hitting the ground and going and making a ton of appointments and communicating with these clients and trying to build a relationship where there was none. And luckily, I love people. I love taking care of people. I love, older people who need a little bit more assistance than the young. So that was actually a lot of her clientele base. And so I just started going to their homes, meeting with them in their homes. And I work wherever the Wi-Fi is. So if that's easier for you to sit at your home and have access to all of your things while we discuss, the importance of what we're doing here in this meeting, then let's do it. So I just started meeting everyone. And then COVID happened. Business had to continue despite, all of the obstacles that came. And so I just moved it to Zoom.
Yeah. So I'm going to transition you from, you got a book of business.
Uh-huh.
And I understand you nurtured it, you fed it, and you tried to let them know you were the new go-to person. And here's how much I care. So I'm going to compartmentalize that and I'm going to move it over.
Okay.
And I want to know what other types to get non in the book people. Tell me about some of your activities to get people who were not in that book.
So I used a lot of social media. I go fishing. I would go, instead of sitting at my office when I was, my daughter would be with her dad, I would go sit at a restaurant at a bar and I would go fishing.
Yep.
A pretty girl at a bar with her computer is definitely going to have somebody say, what are you doing tonight on your computer? And I met a judge. I met a couple of attorneys with that same judge. And I just started like that. That is my favorite. I meet so many random different people having a cocktail, eating dinner. Instead of sitting in my office by myself, I wanted to be around people that potentially I could talk to. So that's what I started doing. And then obviously you join all these groups. I did CCMG. I did, Chamber of Commerce. And I felt like I had better results when I would just go out by myself and just talk to people. I mean, TJ Maxx, Macy's, wherever you would be, there are plenty of people to talk to, and really just showing interest in them and what they do. And then they'd get to, well, what do you do? I'm an insurance agent. Perfect. Maybe you can give me a quote. I just really try to focus on other people and provide value, not necessarily sell them, discover that there's a need for themselves. Like women who are engaged. Oh, make sure you add that to your insurance policy. Well, what do you mean? Isn't it already covered? Nope. It is not. Have a lot of conversations with a lot of different random people. I love strangers.
I was trying to figure out how I was going to say this to you. And since you said it first, thank God, there's something called the halo effect. Okay. It doesn't hurt to be attractive. You've seen my wife. So the negative is this, by the way, this happens to me every day. I go in coffee shops. I got 35 women trying to ask me out every day. I mean, I have such a rough life. I'm kidding. But my wife has been asked to go on so many networking appointments. I want to learn more about your business. And then it's a flirt job.
Yeah. And I had to really be I'm very clear, direct communication.
Yeah.
There is nothing fake or anything like hoorah about me, to be honest.
Let me just tell you what it's called real quick. It's called the halo effect. So you're treated, and this is for anybody ever watching this, you're treated based on how you look. I always say, I don't want my financial advisor wearing overalls, and I don't want my auto mechanic wearing a 3-piece suit. When I was a recruiter years ago, I talked to a hiring manager at IBM, and he'd been a hiring manager for a long time, thousands of hires. And he told me about a book, and I was just getting out of college, I ended up being a recruiter and being a staffing guy. But when I was first looking for a job, this hiring manager, every time somebody would walk in, the second he knew he wouldn't hire the person, and he would clap. And then the guy writing the book was sitting in the lobby, and he timed it. And the average time between the hiring manager meeting the potential person he's going to hire and the clap was 7 secons.
Because you're just judging the person.
Because he's judged based on eye contact, but based on posture, based on how the handshake went, limp wristed, limp hand. So first impression is critical. So the halo effect is important. But then, Rebecca, where I'm going with this, we want to look approachable. And then immediately we got to get past my wife, Marcella. Same exact thing. I'm really smart too. Like my wife, straight A's high school, straight A's college, but people see the face and don't think there's a brain there. Software engineer, Lawrence Livermore Lab, the whole thing. So it's the words we use in the beginning. I'll get to that in a little while. And it doesn't matter what gifts we weren't born with. We can still look presentable and confident, posture, eye contact, all that stuff. You have all of that. You don't need that. But there are other people who are going to watch this, and it doesn't matter what you look like. You got to have good eye contact and good posture and confidence.
Yes.
So
I'm not afraid to say that I don't know something, but I also make sure that I have the integrity to follow up.
Yeah.
But in a timely manner.
Yeah. I've been taking notes. If you see me looking, it's not that I'm not paying attention. I'm taking notes. So book a business, and I wrote down bars and chamber. Now I have made from sitting in a coffee shop, I've had over about 63 to 6,500 one-on-one meetings in coffee shops. When you're having a conversation with somebody and that person leaves and you stay for about 20 more minutes and somebody leans over and goes, I heard you talking. Can you tell me more about what you do? I've made a few $1 million. Not
and it doesn't have to just be a bar. I'm saying just anywhere.
Anywhere. Grocery store. I've been on phone calls in the middle of the grocery store and had somebody in the vegetable aisle say, I got an old 401k. What were you saying about investments? It's crazy. It's just getting out there. So I've made at least 2 million. I would say not from the 6,000, way more than that from the 6,000 coffee, but I'd say 2 million from people overhearing my conversations over the last 19 years and 4 months.
Wow.
It's crazy. So any other forms of biz dev, a little bit on Facebook or other types of meeting, other types of people?
I do social media. I feel like, honestly, so I have my personal social media and then I have my business. The personal, the people that know me, I just grow that one.
Yeah.
My focus, I tried to get my business one up and running, but I noticed I get way more when I just grow myself and share with my audience and my friends and family and the people that I network with. Yeah. And I really try not to be salesy. I try to just provide value. Like, we can go to so many meetings. How many insurance agents are there?
Right.
How many people can help them and jump at the chance to help them? Like, I don't need to be your first call, but when that person that you call first doesn't answer, I guarantee you call me, I'm going to help you. When you have a fire line and you can't close on that loan, you're calling me because I'm working Saturday night. I'm working early, during the week.
Rebecka, what's this new saying that's going? My wife runs this women speak network where women meet. They learn how to speak from the heart, and a lot of women have been talked down to. It's a man's world, all that crap. But there's a saying going around. It's like you're a boss babe. Is that kind of one of those new? Have you heard that term?
Yeah.
Boss babes.
I'm a boss bitch.
Boss bitch. Yeah, I'm gonna say my boss. I love it.
I believe it. I mean,
I love it. The confidence is freaking
like a trait. Like you're doing it.
It's it.
Nothing is going to get in my way. I am a bulldozer. I will be the hardest working person in any room.
I love it. Because I always say, if I'm in a room, I'm not the smartest, but there's not a human being in that building that can outwork me.
But honestly, why I got into insurance is because I also wanted to make sure that I could be the mother that I need to be.
Yep.
I don't want to say, hey, I can't make it to my daughter's dance recital or game because somebody's not allowing me to do that. Yeah. I am the mom I need to be, the businesswoman I need to be, the fiance, wife I need to be. I'm all the hats.
So any of you watching this, I want you to look at, now, Rebecka, this is the first time I've ever had a one-on-one with her. I've seen her in a couple networking meetings that are Zooms. I've seen her Facebook page. You want to see some cool exercise and stuff she does, go check out her Facebook page. But I want you to look at what you're looking at over on this side of my screen, the confidence to say I'm a boss bitch. And I would never, my wife would probably say I am too, but if I said it, I'd get smacked. So my wife's a boss babe. There's nothing's going to get in the way. This is the confidence you need to have to be successful. Mine came from an interesting childhood where it's, the whole family's losers. This is on my dad's side. The whole family's losers. This is being said to me as a kid.
Yeah.
So you're not going to amount to anything. You're going to end up being a loser like everybody else. And I'm like, F that. So I've had to fight my whole life to prove, certain family
I'm the black sheep in my family. Yeah. I will make a name. Yes. I am 6 figures.
Yep.
Millionaire.
Yep.
Not a millionaire yet.
Yep.
But I will be the family's first millionaire.
You will be with the things you say where I'm confident. I'm there to help people. Because if you look, we've been talking for 25 minutes before you even talked about your income and your net worth. It's 25 minutes about other people, other stuff. That's when you're wired that way. That's when you'll get that. And then
because all I have is faith and hustle.
Yeah.
I know that I will not fail because I know that I can bet on myself all day long and I will not lose. Whatever I set my mind to, I will crush it.
Yeah.
Every time.
I love it.
So uprooting my whole family, moving to Arizona, starting from scratch again. I have faith and hustle.
I love it.
I don't have to bet. It's a sure thing.
So I got goose. If I didn't have the long sleeves, I could show you the hair standing on my arm. So I think I got a pretty good idea. So what I like to do, if you don't mind, I just want to briefly tell you, I want to put some credibility behind the advice I'm going to give you. And if you never use any of it, I won't be offended. But I'm sure there's people watching this video that might use some of it. And I'm pretty sure some of it will be helpful.
I have a pen and I have a notebook.
Perfect. And anybody watching this, get a pen and a notebook. So my name is Rick Silva. For 19 years and 4 months, as of December 8th, 2022, I've been teaching people how to get referrals. That's it. Professional networker. Everybody's put on this earth to do something. Mine was to teach people how to get referrals so they never have to cold call or door knock or work with leads. And I'm going to give you some ideas and I'm going to build a little more credibility. In 2008, I got divorced and that was in the real estate crash. And I moved out, I got an apartment, and I was coaching real estate agents and financial planners. And I've coached hundreds of farmers agents. That coaching died in my networking groups. I lost half my groups literally in 2 months between like January and March of 08. A real estate agent comes over the house and we say we want to sell the house. And I didn't know anything about this whole bank owned property and the neg-am loans and the real estate market crashing. And she goes, well, 2 months ago, you could have made a couple $100,000, but in the last 2 months, your house has gone down about $500,000. So it went down. It was worth 200,000 or 300,000 under, what I owed. So I did a deed of trust transfer. I handed that house to my ex-wife and I got an apartment and I started losing my coaching clients. So I always tell people, money was running out. So I moved in with a friend of mine, put everything I owed in storage. And then I try to explain to people, you're making $14,000 a month and your bills are here. And then you got to get an apartment and pay child support. So your bills go here and you lose all your coaching clients. So this is now negative, not positive. This is now negative, 5,000 or 6,000 a month negative. And you gave away everything in your divorce. I don't know how long you could live, but in about 4 or 5 months, I was bankrupt. So I moved from an apartment to my friend's house, stayed there a year, and then he moved away. So when I tell you I moved into my office, the Pleasanton Hotel, downtown Pleasanton, that building and a lot of buildings are owned by the famous football coach, John Madden. Well, above the restaurant are offices. So I literally moved into my office. I slept on a futon for 6 months, homeless. Now we're talking about 2010. That's 12 years ago. 2009, 13 years ago. I just turned 54. I'm 39 years old, sleeping on a futon, showering at the gym for 6 months when my now wife, Marcella, which is cool, Rebecca, because when this goes on YouTube, right when I say my wife, Marcella, a picture of my wife, Marcella, will be showing up and the futon I slept on will be on the screen. We started dating. And she was a software engineer at Lawrence Livermore Lab doing land part-time. And I flew down and I met the owners of the company. And I sat with Marcella and I said, I think with my networking skill and with your engineering skill and your real estate license, I think we can get rich. And there's no other way to word this, Rebecca. And I already know you can handle this, the balls to quit a software engineering job, straight A's in high school, straight A's in college, software engineer. They recruited her from University of New Mexico, rolled the red carpet all the way to Livermore to get her to work there. And then she had an old 401k. And she used it to buy some land and she watched it go up. That's why she got a real estate license. So then she is in the beginning, before she started doing land, she was doing real estate. So imagine you or her showing homes in some very rough areas of Richmond and Palo Alto. It's rough. Not Richmond and Oakland. Yeah, Palo Alto too. The rough areas. She's sitting there all day. So she thinks she's going to get, raped or robbed. And then she ran into somebody doing land, got into land, started joining networking groups. And then she joined one of my groups, B2B Gathering. And then that's how we met. So I went from sleeping on a futon. By the way, her joke just is it's true, but it's like the only joke I'm going to tell you that's not necessarily super funny. Her goal in life, her dream was to meet and marry someone who stood on stage speaking.
Manifested that, didn't she?
That was her dream. Now here's the joke. She woke up early from the dream because the guy she met who stood on stage and spoke for a living was homeless. So she needed to sleep a little longer and finish the dream. He stands on stage, he speaks, and he's successful. Now, I was successful, and then the real estate crash took everything. But I moved in with her, which is embarrassing when you're dating someone and they find out you're sleeping on a futon and showering at the gym. So wise decision on her part to stick it out. And lucky for me, because our income has gone, Rebecca, she hates me talking about it, but I teach people how to make money. If you make more than me, then maybe I can still teach you some stuff, but you're doing good if you're making over $1 million. So we've done, we did 80, 160, 360, 348, 352, 555, COVID hit 765, last year, 868, this year, between 800 and 900. I thought we were going to get $1 million, but most of our referrals come from mortgage lenders, and the mortgage rates changed a couple months ago, and that kind of slowed the referrals down a little bit. But I'm a pretty diversified network. Last thing I'm going to say to build credibility before I tell you how we did it. I teach people how to network and kind of what to do to build a network by telling them what I did, because I've been doing it for 19 years. I have a whole course on it. It's at One Referral Away. If any of you watching and want to read about the course, it's onereferralaway.com. I do one-on-one coaching, and I have an 8-hour course. Now, Rebecca, I didn't get you on this free thing to sell you a course. I in deepest gratitude for you even giving me an hour of your time, because you're giving me an opportunity to do, you're watching me do what I was put on this earth to do, to talk about networking. And you got a life, you got kids, you got other stuff, but I'm wired to teach people how to make money. I would have never become rich if I didn't have my wife, because I wasn't rich, but I was able to impart the information into someone else, which is my wife. She's 12 years younger. And I do about, I bring in about 80% of the business. So I just want to lay this on you, because if you know people in real estate, when I tell you the transactions, I'm hopefully you're mildly impressed. 11 years, let's say 12 years, over 850 real estate transactions, working from home, no office, no staff, Marcella and I. And the first 5 or 6 years was 80 hours a week. We never made over $500,000. And we learned one thing. Well, we never made over 365,000. The owner of her company gave me one thing, and that's when I went to 565. And then I learned something else, and then it skyrocketed, which I'm going to tell you all of it. I'm not going to hold any of it back. So that's without door knocking, cold calling. I'm going to lay a network out for you, and then I'll see how much time we have to go as deep as I can with you on a couple things. So if you're writing, Rebecka, write down the number 1, and then next to that, write the word avatar. And this is for any of you watching this. I don't care what you do for a living. If you're a chiropractor, dentist, financial planner, insurance, real estate, mortgage, you're self-employed and you want to get referrals, you have to have an avatar. So an avatar, I have software for this. It's on a website, and it's very advanced. You answer so many questions, your brain starts to melt, and it helps you figure out what your ideal client is. And it cannot be anybody or anyone. It can't, because there's something in the brainstem called the reticular activating system, which I'm not even going down that road today. But Rebecka, have you ever thought about a certain kind of car you wanted, and every freaking place you go, you see that car drive by, you open up a magazine randomly, and the page you open it is there. You go on the internet, you see the car. That's the reticular activating system. And what we learn to do through what I want you to write down, which is number 2 after avatar, a proper elevator pitch. We're going to take number 1, which is the avatar, which is, Rebecka, I know you can write insurance for 16 to 80-year-olds. I got it. But when you meet somebody, you can't go anybody who needs insurance, because it doesn't fire the reticular act. If I say, hey, Rebecka, go find me a car, you're going to be like, huh? Rebecka, when you walk outside, look for a 5 Series black BMW. You'll see 50 of them before you get to the grocery store. So it has to be laser specific. Can't be, everybody needs insurance. We can say that, like you said it to me earlier, we can say those things, but when you're meeting somebody and trying to get referrals, laser specific makes you rich. Wandering generality keeps you broke. So the avatar goes like this with my hands. It makes that perfect female model or male model. Rebecka, what's in a perfect world, if you could only have this one thing, what would be, like, what age range do you resonate with the most? There has to be. It can't be all of them. What do you oh my God, I can't wait to help these people because they're in this circumstance.
40s, 50s.
40s, 50s. And what's the circumstance? So they have kids getting ready to drive. What's their circumstance besides just auto and home? Like, what's going on that they need you?
I feel like I get along with them a little bit better because they're more mature. They have assets. They have children. They have a little bit of like old school values.
Yeah. Perfect.
They understand protection, and they've been around to see the economy do some things from time to time and lose.
Yeah, I'm in that age group, and I've been through 3 crashes.
Yeah.
Male or female?
Both.
Okay. So if I was to fill out an avatar and I put step 1, male or female, I'm going to push you a little bit right now just to give you an example. Male.
I want to say female because I'm working on like those relationships.
Sure.
But
it's easier with men.
Yeah.
Perfect. My wife's the same way.
Because I golf and I have more things in common. I have 6 brothers. Like,
Perfect.
I just relate better with men.
Perfect. My wife's a
They're
tomboy.
less judgmental and rude and catty. Yep. I don't do trauma bonding and all that. It's just very difficult for me to like.
Yeah. My wife would put a man down on her avatar. Also, having said that, 850-ish transactions, I'd say 600 are women. That's just the way it is. So what you do in the avatar software is you give it a sex, male or female, you give it a name, and then you give it an age range, a circumstance, married, divorced, first-time home buyer, empty nester, upsize, downsize, and it kicks out a story. My name's Rebecka, and this is my avatar. And then you take that and you create an elevator pitch that it's very specific, that fires the reticular activating system. So step 1, avatar. Number 2 is elevator pitch. All I'm doing right now is teaching you the the foundation of building a network.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 3, have you ever heard the term, Rebecka, power partner?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's interesting is I tried to push the best I could without leading you down any specific road to figure out where you are getting your business. I was waiting for you to talk about strategic partnerships. And I'm not saying you haven't done it, because I'm sure you have, but it never came up. It was friends and family. It was past book of business. And it was either you or someone approaching you in a casual conversation that you did what I call the indirect sales approach, where all roads are ultimately going to lead to see how I can help you with insurance. Now, I know the answer is yes, but I just want to get some industries out of you. I'm assuming you've gotten referrals from mortgage, real estate agents. Give me your top 4 or 5 industries if you can. And I'm putting you on the spot, because by the way, none of this is prepared. We didn't do the Johnny Carson thing where Rebecka knew. We don't know where this conversation's going. I have an idea. Rebecka doesn't. Give me your top. So if you take that circle, that pie of all the money you've ever made selling insurance, and then we're going to take past clients out, friends and family members out. I want to talk to you. Just this circle is only power partner, spheres of influence. Give me the top 4 or 5 referral sources, not people, industries.
Tax, mortgage, teachers, and like nurses, firefighters, affinity, whoever, like affinities. They have
why firefighters and teachers? Give me help with that.
They get extra discounts.
Okay. So that's a potential client.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking strictly, I'm going to pull those off the table, teachers and firefighters off the table. They don't count to me. Let me explain why. A power partner is somebody who calls on, sells, and serves the exact same people you do. They don't sell insurance. So mortgage,
so car
CPAs,
dealerships,
tax, real estate agents, CPAs.
I do a lot with like lenders and stuff.
Perfect. And real estate agents?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where we're going. So what I was doing when I was listening is I always want to make sure I don't let the person sneak in clients. So teachers and firefighters are potential clients. So when we're talking about building a referral network, you going after firefighters, number one, it's going to be very hard for you to find one. You could get referred in. Well, I want to find out who that referral source is that can get you in. So I'm going to specifically talk to you about, I'm going to take a samurai sword and I'm going to cut virtually Rebecka in half. And I'm going to show you then in one of my videos, I'll see if I can find it and I'll put it in. And I have a samurai sword that'll come through the screen. So Rebecka, I want, my specialty is not this side. But I'm going to talk to you about it first. We can all get business. And by the way, this is called SOI, or COI. That's what the other quote unquote center of influence or circle of influence or sphere of influence. Most people call this side in the real estate world the COI, their circle of influence. It's center or circle of influence. So Brian Buffini, Tom Ferry, all these guys, they teach, go talk to your friends and family members. And they say past clients. Well, here's the thing. If you're brand new in the business, you don't have any past clients. So I don't like even mentioning past clients in the beginning, because people in their mind are going to go, well, I just started. I don't have any past clients. Friends, family members, Rotary, not networking groups, but more social groups. And then like your kids' soccer, PTA, brownies, church groups. Now, Rebecka, that's what all the experts teach. And this is my opinion. I would never do that ever on this side. Never. Because friends and family, there's a lot of haters in the world. When people start to see me make a lot of money, you
I don't like selling to my friends, to my family, but
well, where I'm going is
either.
Where I'm going is when they start seeing the plaques and the success, they're going to call you on the phone and go, I didn't think you were going to make it, but now that you've made it, let's do my insurance. But what I'm getting at is this side is what most people teach. Friends, family members, PTA, church groups. The problem with that is number one, they don't want to see you anymore when you're going in there and you're just constantly trying to sell to them. All of you that have been taught COI, I completely disagree. And I'm going to take you into a world where this side, by the way, Rebecka, talking to your friends and family members in PTA, it's a conversation that you in some way have to start. And I call it, one way or the other, we're chasing the business.
Yeah. I don't like that, because I feel like it becomes less organic and authentic. Sure. It doesn't like, you're always looking for something like, and you see that every single time you go to these marketing meetings. And I'm just like, ugh. And then you turn around and they're like awful human beings, or like,
Yeah.
I would never do business with you.
Right. Yeah.
And
So
it's like, honestly, you want to distance yourself because you don't respect them in the business, because
yeah.
you see this awful side of them. I'm like,
Yeah. So Marcella, same thing. She'd come home and I go, how was the event? Well, I had 3 people offer me weight loss chocolate, 4 facials, 2 hairdos, and whatever. And it's like, I'm not really there to, and then she doesn't want to go because it's either somebody's asking her out on a date or flirting or trying to sell her their crap. I'm not going to go too far down that particular road because I want to lay the whole roadmap for you today.
okay.
But I'm going to take you to this world, which is the complete opposite of talking to your friends and family members, the road of authenticity. So what I'm going to say is, number 1 was avatar. Number 2 was having a proper elevator pitch. And number 3, I had you write down power partner. So do me a favor real quick, write down those. Let's write down 4 or 5 industries. Just like real estate, mortgage, CPA, car dealer, and maybe 1 or 2 more if you want.
Business owners.
Business owner's a client. Business owner doesn't count.
Okay.
We want to get introduced to business owners. I'm going to get there with you.
Okay.
Business owners are clients. You can't write down clients because clients are on this side.
Got it. Okay.
Let me explain. You want to get with business owners? Then I'm gonna work with human resources consultants. Every one of their clients is a business owner. People who sell group life insurance, financial planners who work with business owners, CPAs who have business owners, and 2 of the best, business coaches and what's called rent a CFO. So right now you'd have 10 or 12 written down. I know it's hard to listen and write it down, but business coaches, CPAs, rent a CFO, financial planners, they will hand you business owners on a silver platter. Rebecka, you should never, and I'm telling everybody this for the last 19 years, do not ever look for clients. Find people who have your client. So I just named 5 industries who have business owners. If you want to work with, you got to sell more auto policies. Well, my friend Steve, I don't want to say his name because I don't know if he wants the whole world knowing the secret that made him multi-millions of dollars in the 680 corridor of the Bay Area. When he first started, I was getting goosebumps, Rebecka, because you and him sounds like he trained you. So he said when he got his license, what he did is he drove to every car dealer between Livermore and Walnut Creek, walked in and found every sales guy and the finance manager. And he said exactly what you said to me about 30 minutes ago. I don't care what time of the day it is. I don't care what the circumstance is. I got my phone with me Saturday, Sunday, midnight. You have somebody sitting there and they're trying to figure out how much your insurance is going to cost. You call me on the phone. Rebecka, this guy, I don't know about now, but as of 3 or 4 years ago, could buy and sell me. I think I might have caught him net worth wise, but I'm talking about, you mentioned where your net worth isn't yet, but you want to be. He's multi. And he started by talking to car dealers.
Yeah.
So did he go look for people who own cars, or did he look for people who work with people who own cars all day long? So that's this
own cars all day long.
That's this side of the world. I know you want to write home policies. You should never, ever look for a homeowner. There you go. You should never look for a homeowner. Find people who work with homeowners. From what I've seen, one of the best, and I've had a lot of insurance agents tell me this, one of the best is mortgage. And if you can get that policy done quick because they can't even get a mortgage till their freaking house is insured, that's a great time to pick up a new client. I've had insurance agents. I know some that's all they talk to.
Like a lot of people to get the client will give them a huge cut. Like, oh, I'll give you $25 a referral. Like, why? I'm torn on that because, like, why would I give away my money?
Right. So I have mixed thoughts on that. I've paid out, and this is just me. I've personally paid out around $160,000 last year in referral fees. Do you have to?
Yeah.
No, but I'm in a world, but
I just mean on the car dealership side.
Well, if a guy gives you a referral, you have a couple ways to say thank you. One is to find out, there's a million ways. I have in the course, I have an hour on this, but a baseball game ticket, a hockey game ticket, a great bottle of wine, a Starbucks gift card, or go ahead.
So I had to I'm just saying, like, so I've had those, I've really focused on dealerships for a long time,
Yeah.
but then they always want this kickback because they have another agent coming in right
Correct.
after you that says, hey, I'll give you $25 every
Yep.
referral. But then you get these shitty leads.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, they need it. And I've dropped what I'm doing and I'm helping you in the middle of the night to make
Yep.
this deal happen. And then next week they call and cancel.
Correct. Yeah. So those things,
don't waste my time.
Yeah. Those things are going to happen less than they would. It's 10 hours to explain all of this. I'm trying to give you in a nutshell.
Okay.
But one of the reasons people get, I'm going to use your word, shitty leads is because, and Rebecka, this isn't, I'm not trying to say anything bad about you or what you do or anybody else. No one's ever taught you how to teach them how to send you the referral.
Yeah. I mean, I have a buddy who's at a dealership. I'm like, hey, if you're going to send me like somebody, then I'm happy to help them, but I'm not going to put them in and mess up my numbers.
Right.
I'll help them with insurance still, but if it's a shitty lead, tell me that so I can help you still.
Well,
not put it on my books.
Right. I understand. There's a whole scripting and a training that I would give you on how to teach that guy to not send it in the first place and to get something that's going to close 99%. I absolutely don't have the time for that now, but as a professional networker, it's avatar, elevator pitch, write down a list of power partners. And you wrote down 5 or 6. I gave you 6 more when you said business owners. That takes you up to 12. Rebecka, your goal in writing down different industries, well, I'll tell you, Marcella, as of 9 years ago, I had 163 industries for finding people to invest in land. So 10 or 12 or 15, you haven't even put any effort in. Try to get to 50 different industries if you can.
Okay.
You already have 12. You think about the car. I'll give you an unbelievable one for insurance. Unbelievable to write insurance, chiropractor. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when somebody hit me and I had an issue, but I was the first place I went when I got hit is my chiropractor. I went there before I went to the body shop. So chiropractor is another one that you definitely should write down, because if people got their car destroyed, need a new car, or they can't get their insurance agent on the phone. And then we want to get into glass repair, because when they got a chip windshield and the guy goes, you don't have the $100. No, I got to pay $1,200 out of pocket. Oh my God. And then they go like this. If they're smart, Rebecka, and you taught them properly, and I'll give you an example of it, but then they pull out, and there's Marcella. Call Rebecka on the phone because she needs to educate you on insurance. But one of the things, like if you were talking to a glass guy, one of the ways you program their mind is when you have a person drive their car and they have the chip windshield, they don't have insurance that covers chip glass. Did you know if you had XYZ insurance, it only costs you $100 or potentially be free? What? As soon as we're done, you got to call my friend Rebecka. There's way more to it, but that's the short story. So Rebecka, if you had those industries that were helping you write down, I gave you another 5. So now you're up to like 18. If you spend your life finding those people, there's a very specific script and a very specific presentation you'd have when you meet with them in a coffee shop or on Zoom. I prefer face-to-face. And that's just starting to come around, heavy duty in December 8th of 2022. What you say to them, what you teach them, and how you build business with them by firing the reticular activating system. There's so much I want to tell you, and we don't have all day. I got it. I wrote down, set yourself apart. Thank God I wrote that down. Now, one of the ways, Rebecka, to set yourself apart, like I'm sure mortgage lenders have been called by more than one P&C agent trying to get their business. So Rebecka, you have 2 choices. That's where I want to go. I got to back up. Okay. Why would you give some of your money? Because like $25 to get a deal to prove how good you are, to then maybe talk to the guy and go, dude, you see how good I am. I'm not paying you for every one of these. That could be an option. Or you just gladly pay them because that's one less coffee meeting you have to have. It's just a different way to think about it. Like I said, we paid, I think 140 or 160,000 last year in referral fees. Well, now I don't have to do any marketing. I hardly have to ever meet people anymore. I compensate through money, but I'm going to now digress back to setting yourself apart. There's 1 million mortgage lenders and 1 million insurance agents, and the insurance agents are going after the mortgage lenders. You have 2 ways you can beat them. One is referral fee, gift, wine, baseball tickets, that kind of stuff. I have one that's better. Introducing power partners to power partners. So let me explain. if you get out there, and I'm not exaggerating when I said I've had 6,300 to 6,500 one-on-one coffee meetings. My wife's had over 4,000 one-on-one coffee meetings. So Rebecka, my finger right here, that's you. And then if you start meeting with bankers, there's another one we didn't talk about. Bankers work with business owners all day long. Commercial real estate also, because if a business owner is buying a building, they need to have insurance. See, it just starts to pop up when you stay in this conversation. So now you're probably up to 22. So 50 is not that hard, by the way. But when Rebecka has coffee with mortgage, real estate, financial planner, estate planning attorney, and a banker. So you mean to tell me, Rebecka, you're trying to get in with a mortgage lender, right? And try to get them to meet you for coffee. And maybe in an email, you say, hey, by the way, I was thinking about you. I just met with XYZ real estate agent. And that real estate is always looking to network with really good and professional. You're building the mortgage lady. I call it putting on a pedestal. Always looking to meet with awesome mortgage lenders, and I thought of you. And then in an email, you introduce them to each other and go, Janice, I met you last week. Rob, I met you the week before. Mortgage, real estate. I think you two should meet for coffee. You want to get a mortgage lender, randomly introduce them to real estate agents once in a while. Okay. You don't have to pay the $25 because, Rebecka, I'm telling you, there's pretty much it's 0.1% of insurance. It's 0.1% any industry, but since you're insurance, I'm going to stick it with insurance. It's 0.1% of insurance agents that are going to be on this side, which is where we're meeting with people who already have our client, and we're teaching them how to send us referrals. And people go, well, why would they send me referrals? Well, they know a million P&C agents. Why me? Here's why. You're professional, you're confident, you show up to the meeting on time, you show you care, and you do something that proves, because you and I can both say, Rebecka, we're in business to help people save money, make money, become more successful, whatever it is, protect them, blah, blah, blah. We both kind of do the same thing. I just do it through a different investment vehicle. We can say it. You can say all that in a coffee meeting. When you meet a mortgage lender and you introduce that mortgage lender to a real estate agent,
it shows them.
You're not going to get anything from that, Rebecka, but you are. You're going to get what's called the law of reciprocity, which says the law of reciprocity, by the way, just to go into, I'm not the religious person, but I'm spiritual. Every religious writing in the history of the world, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, the Bible, they agree on nothing except two things: love and the belief in the law of reciprocity. So in those writings, it says things like, if you scratch mine, I'll scratch yours. Or if I scratch yours, you scratch mine. One of my favorites, I want you to think about this. Ye who wishes to tread on soft soil must first add the water. People go, well, I went to an event. I gave a guy one referral and he never gave me anything in return. So the law of reciprocity in those writings also say you got to give with absolutely no thought of return, and abundance comes back the most unexpected sources, the most unexpected places, the most unexpected time, and the most unexpected amount.
Amen.
Yes. So if you met a mortgage lender and you have one goal here and one goal here. The one goal here with the mortgages is find out what they do, what they specialize in, and figure out how many real estate agents you can introduce to this person. Followed 9 million miles in the back by them giving you 5 minutes so you can explain what type of insurance you do. If you had a 1-hour meeting and you spent 40 minutes on them and 20 minutes on you, and that 40 minutes of learning about them, their family, what they do, what they love, what kind of loans they like to write, and then think in your mind, this guy likes to do condos. What real estate agent do I know who specializes in condos? And do an introduction. And then when you're all done with that and you're drilling them, and the last 15 or 20 minutes, you go, your time is valuable. Put them on a pedestal, make them feel important. Your time is valuable. I don't know how long you have, but would you mind now if I told you what I do? Now, most people in coffee meetings, Rebecka, as soon as the meeting sits down, it's all about them because everybody wants to talk about themselves. Well, the person who follows the law of reciprocity has to back up and make them the most important. So anytime you have a coffee with all those industries you're writing down, make them talk for 30. Even if they ask you what you do, I want to learn about you first. I'm an inquisitive person. And you get them to talk and you get them to talk. And then by the time you say, we're 35, 40 minutes in, would you mind if I tell you about myself and what I do? Rebecka, they're going to be falling off their chair. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I've been talking the whole time. Well, that was, you did that. Oh my God, I cannot wait to hear what you do. Cause I've been talking. I feel like I took the whole meeting over. They are now on the edge of their seat. Number one, they're freaking listening.
Mm-hmm.
You earned I always tell people, when you go to networking events or trade shows or CCMG, whatever these, CCMG is a company, the real estate marketing meetings, my opinion, you have to earn the right to speak. And people go, what do you mean I have to earn the right? Because if you don't, you're a slimy sales guy.
I feel like I'm more silent in that group or groups like that more now.
Yep.
Because I feel like it's just everyone, it's just an abundance of selling going on, and less like human to human.
Yeah. So what I do with that is, and I always only show our cards because what I do is when I go to those events or I check out the room. Like the first time I ever saw you in person, Marcella was speaking at on Zoom. Mm-hmm. And I pick out the room and I look for the ballers. And then you can tell who the ballers are. And if you can't, like if you go to a new event and you walk in, you go up to whoever put the event on. Like Don Wilson for the Pleasanton Chamber knows everybody. If I needed to meet a mortgage lender, I'd go to the event. I'd walk up to Don. Don, tomorrow you're going to buy a home and you need a mortgage lender. Who would you hire? She'd go like this. That guy. I mean, she would turn and point so fast. And then I walk over to that guy and I would say, hi, John, my name is Rick Silva. I just walked up to Don and I said, I want to meet the baddest mortgage lender in the building because I'm looking to build my referral network. She got whiplash pointing you out. Now he's going to laugh. He's going to think that's kind of cool. And he's going to stand up straighter. And I'm going to get his card. I'm going to talk to him for a few minutes. And I'm going to meet him for a coffee. And I'm going to run him through my whole scenario. I'm going to teach him what I do. I'm going to learn what he does. I'm going to try to introduce him to power partners. Do you see? This is networking. This is building a referral network, which
with
most
the
people,
biggest, fattest fish.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is the whole thing, the avatar, the elevator pitch, the power partners, the coffee meetings, the introducing the other power partners, because when you start having coffee meetings, introduce your network to your network. Mm-hmm. Also, just one little side trick. Also, if you want the baller real estate agent, when I was building my networking groups from scratch, I didn't want a schlub. I walk into a real estate office, walk up. I don't mean to sound sexist, but 19 years ago, when you walk into a real estate office, it generally the secretary was a woman. That's just I'm sorry.
The way it was.
That's the way it was. I'd walk in there. 99.9%. There'd be a lady sitting behind the desk. I walk up to the lady and go, "My name is Rick Silva. I just want to ask you a quick question. Now she's the secretary in a real estate office with 30 agents. I'd walk up to her and go, you need to buy a home. What agent? I won't tell anybody. What agent in this office would you hire? Oh, John Smith. I mean, that's how you meet the ballers. Go to the Chamber of Commerce and ask the people, the ballers know ballers. This is the way it is. Mm-hmm. So I always want to be around ballers because, if you're in a mastermind group, Rebecka, I started one. And when I got in it, I was like, by 50% the lowest income earner in the room. Well, when I left it 12 years later, I was making more than the entire room combined. So that means you're in the wrong room. I should have left it 5 years early. I was in it for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. If you're in a room and everybody's smarter than you and makes more than you, you're in a good place. If you're the smartest and highest, you're in the wrong place. So I always want to get around ballers. So just to back up, take a deep breath. Avatar, elevator pitch, power partners, figure out who they are, figure out how you're going to find them. You craft a very specific emails that gets them to chase you down the street to meet you for coffee. You meet them for coffee and you slowly start to build a reciprocal relationship. I don't do anything on this side where I say, go to the PTA and tell everybody at the PTA that you do insurance. It's unnatural. It becomes an Amway salesperson. People aren't going to duck when they see you coming. So this side, the COI, talk to your circle of influence. I don't recommend it because people are going to run and hide.
I don't like it.
This side is what we just laid out, the foundation of networking. And you're in a beautiful place because, you could start, well, but here's the thing. Yes and no. I've talked to many people in your position, like the dentist, Dr. Cynthia Stevenson went to Stanford and UCLA. I think her IQ's in the 150s for sure. Straight A's, high as you could be in Stanford and UCLA. And she did a video and said I was a genius. And I'm like, they don't teach this. They don't teach this stuff in school. But what I'm getting at is she sold her practice for a lot. And then she couldn't do any. And then 6 months later, starting at the bottom, but she had been a dentist for years. You're starting at the bottom, but you're an insurance baller already. You're just restarting. You're not, the disadvantage would be brand new and no knowledge of insurance.
Yeah.
You've been in the insurance business. I know you're only 19. You started when you were 3 years old. You've been in the business, since you were born. So you've done, between being a mentor or coach or what else you did before you became, you've probably been involved in thousands of transactions. So you have that, but you're brand new in an area. And it goes back to the halo effect. It doesn't hurt to be confident, be a baller, be attractive, dress properly, carry yourself properly, have the proper scripting. And then when you're meeting people, get them to talk for 40 minutes and you talk for 20. And there's a lot more to it, but we've been going an hour and 8 minutes. And I hope what my goal was when I put the post on Facebook, anybody wants a free hour, this takes about 10 hours to teach everything. But I'm just trying to give people this idea that they don't have to feel hopeless. They don't have to, I'm new to an area. What do I do? Freaking find people. I don't have any friends and family members. Good. I don't have any, and I haven't left this area in 50 years. I have like 2 good friends and my family's this big. I have very few relatives. You can become a multimillionaire because you're talking to one without selling to your friends and family members. You find people. I have you have to know her, Estella Miavia, mortgage lender, Hispanic mortgage lender. She used to go to the Castro Valley meetings all the time.
Never met her.
So my wife did a 1-hour talk on land banking. Estella was in the room. She just purchased her 14th property from us. And we've closed around 80 or 85 real estate transactions from one person. So guess what I did? When I met her, she taught me how to talk to other mortgage lenders. So when I told you, I'm going to kind of close with this. In the very beginning, I told you our income was, I think it was like 348, 362, 356. And then the owner of the company told me something and I learned something and my income went from 356 to 565, going from 80 hours a week to 30. And income goes up to, I'm going to tell you right now. The owner of the company said, you guys are working too much and you're not making enough. Now in the land banking world, full-time, 300,000 or 400,000 a year, you are an absolute failure. It's unacceptable to be that low in our industry. And we were doing that, working 80 hours a week. And he goes, you guys are working too much and you're not making enough. I want you to think 500,000, 20 hours a week. Now I'm a big ball of shot caller like you are, and no one's going to outwork me. No one's going to outstudy me. No one's going to go on YouTube and watch 50 hours a week of training if I want to learn a topic and buy 500 books and read them all. So I took a piece of paper. Well, I put a Word document and I typed 500,000 in 20 hours a week. And then I Control-C, copied it, Control-V. I made it into 5 lines, copied the 5 lines, and I filled the page. The whole page, all it said was 500,000 and 20 hours a week, 500,000 and 20 hours. How many times on the page? I don't know, 100 times. I opened up the margins as far as I could. And here's the thing. Let me get some coffee where I actually open the lid. Sucking on the magnet. So I never read it, Rebecca. I never read it. Every night, I stared at it like a picture. And I let the 500,000 and 20 hours a week embed in my brain. That's one thing. Went from 80 hours a week to 20. Went from income 358 to 565. That, and I had a mortgage lender say, who are your top power partners? And I wasn't talking to that many mortgage lenders when I first met her. I was mostly talking to real estate and financial planners and CPAs. Well, CPAs have a hard time referring because they're so highly governed. Financial planners kind of see us as competition. Real estate agents were okay, but mortgage lenders see more old 401ks than any industry, including financial planners, because you might have a financial planner and you only have them manage 1 or 2 of your accounts. As you know, mortgage lender sees every account. If you have $5 hidden under a pillow, they're going to know about it. So she taught me how to talk to mortgage lenders. Looking at old 401ks, I taught them what to say when they have a client has an old 401k. I taught them what to say. And then we can pay referral fees. So we pay 2%. So if somebody invests 100,000, we write that referral source a check for $2,000 very happily, because commercial real estate pays significantly higher than regular real estate. Paying somebody like Estella tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Well, this is real estate, Rebecca. So obviously I'm going to make more money selling a land parcel than you writing an auto insurance policy. So you're not going to be, writing $10,000, $15,000 checks. But if my commission was 200,000 because she thought of me, and when I write her the check, and next year we just wrote the check, we're taking her, we go around the world every year.
About you.
Top of mind. We took her to Europe last year. We paid for the whole trip. We took her to Tahiti 2 years before that. And next year we're going back to Tahiti. We're paying for the whole thing out of our own pocket. It's a corporate trip, but if we want to bring extra people, we're paying for that. She cannot stop thinking about us. In fact, when you take somebody on a trip and it costs you $9,000, now in your world, maybe it's a trip to Tahoe. I don't know. The numbers are different because just the nut is so much bigger, our commission is so much bigger. But if we're taking someone $9,000 trip and go, this is for last year. Hint, hint. If I want to keep taking, so we're so beyond that. She's like, where am I against all your other referral partners? What do I have to do to be on top? That a girl. She's been right where I need you to be. She's been on top for 6 years, and no one's been able to catch her. But when you have your referral partners chasing you, you've done something. And the way you can do that, Rebecca, is by you meet a mortgage lender, you introduce them to a real estate agent. You meet a banker, introduce them to a CPA. You meet a CPA, introduce them to a financial planner. Meet a business coach, introduce them to an HR consultant. Introduce your network to your network. And now all along, you're teaching them how to send you referrals. And that's back to avatar and elevator pitch. I'm gonna stop there. Do you have any questions or comments?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
And taking notes.
Yeah. Any questions or comments?
No, not right now.
Did you learn something new?
I did. Yeah.
Good. That's the man. That's what makes me smile. My face gets all red. It's because I want to make sure people are learning stuff. So if you're watching this on YouTube, number one, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can go to onereferralaway.com. There's a course there. It's $795. It's 8 or 9 hours. There's 2 hours of one-on-one coaching that comes along with it. And then there's also coaching packages if you want this type of help. And then it goes on for about 9 more hours to learn how to build a referral-based practice so you don't have to cold call. You don't have to door knock. You don't have to get, in Rebecca's words, not Rick's, they're shitty leads. People want discounts right at the last minute. They want to go somewhere else. Oh, my neighbor does it. I'm going to go with my neighbor right before they go to sign the paperwork. Hey, can I get a piece of your commission? With a properly built referral network, that doesn't happen very often, if at all.
On your website is where I can find out more for more coaching or.
Okay. So one referral, if you want more information about what I do, one referral away. So if somebody just wants help with their elevator pitch, they could click here and watch 2 videos and then get their elevator pitch. If you want to do it and send it to me and have me critique it, put it all together and give you the final perfected version, that's $99. You'd email it to me. I'd videotape myself doing your elevator pitch and send it to you. Now, Rebecca, if you did want to do the course, this is free. So don't click this if you want to do the course. Over here, where it says $795, this talks about the One Referral Away course, teaching everything about how to build a referral-based practice. It's 12 modules. I want to say it's around 7 to 9 hours-ish. And it comes with 2 hours of one-on-one coaching. Okay. Beyond that, it depends on where people are in the business. And it's up to you if you want to do it. One-on-one coaching. And by far the best package is the 6 hours. 1 hour is $250, 2 hours, 6 hours. But I tell people don't buy this until they go through this, get the 2 hours from me, and then we can assess how much more help the person needs. So there's one referral away. If any of you watching wants more help, that's where you can go. And it's very rare I show that at the end of the video, so hopefully you guys don't get mad at me for pitching you 4 times in 130 videos. But anyway,
no pitch.
Cool.
It's valuable.
Yep. Thank you, Rebecca. Good luck. If I don't see you or talk to you again, have a good Christmas. You know what? Have a good whatever you celebrate, because I don't know if you're Jewish. So have a good holiday.
Happy holiday, Merry Christmas.
Merry everything. Kwanzaa, Festivus for the rest of us. Yeah. And good luck on your starting your business in January. If you need my help, let me know. For watching. Take care.
Thank you.